Hello and welcome to this tango video tutorial. We are Iris and Helmut, and this time it's about the combination with Americana, full turn, and optional exit with Sacada and Parada. The final sequence will look like Rebote, half turn, continued into a full turn, Americana into Caminata, version number 1. The second version is with exit, Sacada and Parada. So again we have Rebote into the half turn, then we continue into a full turn, and here we will take a Sacada and finish with a Parada. How do we get there? We use a very simple sequence to start with. So we had Rebote, outside walk, into an Americana position, and from here, Caminata. Here it was important that we establish the different dynamics, that we connect on the one hand with the breathing, exhaling and holding the breath, and in the other hand in expanding and compressing in the embrace. So we start with a release, and we start to create a lot of space and hold the breath in the Americana position to gradually pass again into the release to take the Caminata. One time from behind the leader. So we had, we start in this position to grow, to have a maximum here in the Americana. We start again to exhale and we continue with the Caminata. One time from the other side. And exhale. And grow. And exit with the Caminata. We use the same dynamics to go for the half turn. So we had Rebote, close the door behind your partner, and we finish back and side. One time from here, Rebote, we stretch again the same moment, and we release in this moment. From this idea of the half turn, we can go into a full turn if in the moment that we would go back, don't step straight, but we continue opening, but that our partner will pass by here, and we want to exit with the right leg for the leader, the left leg for the follower. One more time. We have Rebote, exhale, stretch this moment, and now we have the full turn, exit with the right leg. One time from the other side. Rebote, close the door behind your partner, open, and exit with the right leg. As we said before, in the Americana position we had the release in the first part and an expanding in the Americana position. In the half, respectively full turn, we have the release in this position, but we start the growing part already here in order to keep the parallelity of our pelvis, either with the half turn or also with the full turn, that here this moment can be stretched before we continue again to the line of the dance. This is the beautiful thing about this sequence. By that you can go into the music and have and also in the other one you can have an accent. If you're ready and have practiced the two sequences with these dynamics, we can combine them. So we will start with a full turn, and instead of just closing and exiting, I step around her and exit with her in Americana position. As I'm behind her, I also stay a little bit behind her here, which will make it easier to continue with the caminata. One more time. So, rebote into the half, respectively full turn. Now I step around and we are in the parada and we continue to the line of the dance. The same thing works in close embrace. So we can have rebote, first stretch. Here I start to open a little bit into the Americana position and I continue again in close embrace from behind. Let's see these ones from behind the leader. So we have rebote into the turn. And here's the moment that I start to walk around her and we go, and now we don't have space for the caminata, we exit in apertura.
We can move to Hogwarts.
If you manage, send us a video. What is important? We have pivots where we need to create the pivot and the follower needs to work on the pivot through spiralization. And we have pivots where the pivot is happening because me as the leader, I transfer my axis and she's reacting to this change of axis. In the half turn, we use this principle of turning. Because I'm stepping here, she's turning. She doesn't need to spiralize, she just needs to stay connected. In the Americana, it's similar that at the beginning it's my axis, but then she needs to continue to spiralize in order to reach the line of the dance. In the final sequence that we had, so first you just need to keep the parallelity to your partner. Then, now you have to wait that your partner steps around and then you need to start to spiralize and create a pivot. If you start to create a pivot too early, it doesn't feel so good and maybe you will end up a little bit diagonal and you will cross your lines. So we recommend practice here how to stay parallel. And again, stretch this moment, so I hold the breath, and here to exit in the Americana. One time from the other side, let's do it again in close embrace. So, rebote into a stretch for the half turn. We continue, I create a little bit of space, then we go to the Americana, and I close again in the caminata. The last variation is that instead of going for the Americana position here, I will go for a Sacada position here. We want to create the same feeling as before, that we have the effect amplified of the Sacada. If we don't do this, then it will just be like, but we want to have the same as the Americana, but then I do something else. And here I have two possibilities to continue with parada. Either I go for the parada and sandwich position, that is a little bit easier, or from this position I start to project straight, and then I have a parada from the forward ocho position. And I would recommend this one. This gives even a nicer line and direction for the dance. So we start in close embrace. We keep the close embrace in the first part of the turn. We start to open a little bit in this part. We open completely for the Sacada and we close it again in the parada position. We exit and we could continue again with the half turn. One more time. One. And stretch, continue, and Sacada, parada, and we'll see what else could come after this. One time from the other perspective. Don't forget about the breathing. So we had release, stretch, release, and stretch in this position. Now I forgot about the sacada. So we go back, and here now I want to have the sacada and then the parada. In the sacada, I want to hold the breath again. So we had a half turn, and here I start to hold the breath to go a little bit into suspense. We wish you a lot of fun experimenting with that. If it doesn't work for the first time, don't worry. And stay patient with yourself. Give your partner a smile.
Don't fight too much.
Don't fight too much. Always a good idea. And if you have any questions, write us a comment.